You're listening to the BigIron Buzz.
Welcome to our latest episode of the BigIron Buzz, where each week we'll bring to you the latest news and trends in the ag, real estate, and used equipment markets. This podcast is brought to you by BigIron Auctions and Realty, rural America's premier online unreserved auction site, bringing you rural connections, respected values, and real deals. Hi everyone, I'm Ryan Smith, and I'm the host of the BigIron Buzz. With me today are Mark Stock and Sam Harper from BigIron Auctions. Sam, you're new to the show. Can you start off by telling us a little about yourself?
You bet, Ryan. Thanks for having me. I'm an ISR in Northwest Iowa, in a town called Spencer in Clay County, and I've been with BigIron since March of 2018.
You're in Clay County now. Has the Clay County Fair taken place this year?
And unfortunately, they've called the fair off this year, and we'll have it next year. So, yeah, we suffered the same demise as a lot of other shows this fall.
Tell everybody that's listening a little bit about the Clay County Fair, because isn't that one of the largest, if not the largest, fair in North America?
The Clay County Fair just turned 100 a couple years ago, and it is, in fact, the largest agricultural fair in the country, and we call it the greatest county fair in the country. It does have the largest selection of farm equipment around at any county fair in the country. We are the second largest tourist event in the state of Iowa, right behind the state fair, which was also canceled this year.
Yeah, so you get a lot of people that are showing off their new wares as if they were going to a big farm show at the Clay County Fair.
Yeah, the Clay County Fair annually has about 300,000 visitors over the 9 days, so it brings in a lot of people from a lot of states. You know, they have the livestock showing and the tractors displays and the equipment and all the food vendors. It's just a great event, and I'm really going to miss it this year.
You've got a massive retirement sale coming up on the August 26th auction. Can you tell us a little about the seller and what he's got on the block?
You bet. Cedric Witerboer of Everly, Iowa. He's been a cattle feeder for his farming career and decided that this year that it would be a good time for him to exit and retire. So we have over 70 items coming up on August 26th. Mention a few items here. We have a John Deere 8350 mechanical front-wheel drive tractor. We also have a 6615 with a loader, another John Deere 8300 with a loader. Quite a few tractors, semis, trailers, an S670 combine. It's going to be an exciting day.
Sam just mentioned some of the tractors in this sale. Mark, you want to tell us a little about the rest of the lineup?
Well, yeah, from what I'm seeing on the website, and look forward to the open house that's coming up soon here. John Deere 8530 mechanical front tractor is going to sell. They've got another tractor, a John Deere 7330. That will be selling. It's got 5,100 hours. They've got a 6615, I think you mentioned. They got this big New Holland. A wide variety of tractors, folks. If you're in the market, too, there's a Case IH Magnum. So the seller, Cedric, here was definitely not colorblind. He had a wide variety of different colors, and that's always nice. And if you're looking for good quality equipment, I think there's going to be an open house coming up here soon.
Yeah, Saturday from 11 to 2 we'll be there on site. Be a big event. You mentioned that 7330, that 5,100 hours, about 50 of those were on a baler, and the rest of those were just pulling the feeder wagon from the feeder house to the 2 yards right there. So that was all that tractor did. So it's kind of an interesting story on those. And then I don't know if you mentioned the John Deere 9400 four-wheel drive tractor. That one has a chip in it, and it has about 15% more power and is more fuel efficient. So he's upgraded that piece of equipment.
And Cedric, he's able to talk to everybody and give them the good, honest representation about all of his machinery, isn't he, Sam?
Absolutely. He's doing his best to answer his phone. He said he's been getting about 6 or 8 calls a day right now, which will probably start to go up. I've been getting about 4 or 5 myself. As we get, I think we're in the final 9 days here. So,
yep, good deal. And then where exactly is Everly, Iowa from Spencer?
Well, Spencer is the center of Clay County, and Everly is about 10 miles to the west on Highway 18, and Cedric's about 5 miles north of Everly. So,
Sam, are there any items on the Witerboer Sale that we might have missed?
Sure. There's a variety of tillage equipment. As I mentioned, there's some semis and trailers. There's an Artex 8,000 manure spreader. We also have a fast fertilizer or a herbicide sprayer. We also have a Demco grain cart and a variety of livestock equipment, haying equipment. 70 items. There's a whole variety of things. Whether you are in the livestock business or grain farmer, you should be able to find something that you might need on the sale.
You bet. He's got a John Deere 1690 soybean special air seeder. He's also got a SkyTrack 6042 telehandler that looks really nice in all the pictures. And being in the feedlot business, he's got a feed wagon and he's got a lot of good quality hay equipment. So I think it's a well-rounded package of equipment, forage harvesters and such, that people need to be taking a look at this one. This is a nice sale ending out the month of August here on the BigIron.com website.
I want to mention one more item there. He's got a John Deere 1770 16R30 planter, which isn't your ordinary planter. It is, if you're into technology, this planter has got all the precision equipment on it with the hydraulic downforce and all the stuff. I had a lot of fun unhooking that from the tractor. There was lots of cables.
For sure. Now tell us about that. You unhooked the tractor, so you were involved with this project all the way from the beginning. Tell us how that all started and how that all worked out.
Well, this all started back in February. Actually, Cedric is a good friend of a retirement sale we had last year for our friend Kent Kilpatrick, and that's how he was introduced to the Big Iron process. And when he made the decision over the winter, I was the first person he called, and we discussed on that day the options, and then we signed an agreement at the end of that meeting to work with Big Iron. Now, we were going to try and do this in March, but we had a hard time getting stuff cleaned, and he still had some cattle to get rid of, so it took until July to get rid of the last of those cattle, and then we were able to fully begin marketing this sale. So it was a process to get stuff clean. We had some third-party cleaners come in and assist, and then Bill, my district manager, was able to come up for a few days and help out, and we did a lot of work for Cedric to get to where we are today.
Mark, you've been helping farmers with their retirement sales for nearly 40 years. What's your advice to those considering retirement and what they should look for when they choose an auction provider?
First of all, it's all about the exposure to your potential buyers. So you've got to find an auction company like Big Iron, who has hundreds of thousands of people watching our website on a daily basis. Hundreds of thousands is where you have your strength in numbers. And on our day auctions on Wednesdays, I mean, the numbers of the people watching are anywhere from 45,000 to 105,000 different IP addresses. It's just absolutely phenomenal. But for retiring, you need to think about preparation for your retirement sale way in advance. Just as Sam had talked to the seller here earlier on, Cedric made that decision almost 9-10 months ago to have his sale, because it takes a while if you want to do it right. You got one shot, folks. And I always get a bang out of it when they say, geez, I want to have my auction. I want to do it in 3 weeks. Well, you've waited your whole life. Why would you want to do it in such a fashion that you're going to be very disappointed with the prices? Because in order to expose your equipment to the masses and large numbers of valued bidders, people that want to buy your item, not just the jockeys, and we love the jockeys watching our equipment sale too, because they set the base, but the end users are the ones that pay you the premiums. And the end users, they want to talk to the owner, they want to check out the equipment, they want to do a lot of things to get them comfortable with that piece of machinery, or they're going to pay a premium price for it. So if you're retiring, start early. Talk to the Big Iron rep in your area, talk to the district manager, develop a plan, establish a timeline, because to get all the records and the paperwork prepared for your repair history, when you bought it, if you bought it new, that's a huge thing to be a one-owner machine. If you've got it in the shed, it's nice for us to be there and kind of take the pictures when it's tucked in the shed to create that history and a story. And then if you want to really do what takes it over the top, you get the video production teams out there. The Big Iron teams will come in and they will interview the sellers. They'll get their story. They'll take a lot of that picture of that equipment tucked away, nice as can be in the shed. And then the public gets used to you as a seller, and they get comfortable with the entire process and your machinery, and then they pay more. So do what Cedric did with a good guy like Sam Harper. Start early, have communications, ask a lot of questions, then let Sam do his job of arranging everything to get all cleaned up, all lined up, open housed up, sale brochures posted everywhere, all the social media and newspaper marketing gets put into play. The open houses are conducted, and that's always a fun time, because you get people that you don't even imagine coming to see you will come to your public inspection of your equipment. Remember, with Big Iron, and because of COVID, nobody really is having open outcry auctions anymore. The whole thing has changed. And even after COVID, I don't know how many people are going to go back So you still got to do a lot of things and do it right. We've been in this online space since 2001, broadcasting over the internet in conjunction with our open outcry sale. And then in 2009, we switched over to a timed-only event, and some people are just experiencing that for the first time in the last couple months. So they've probably got a lot of learning curve to do, whereas we've already stubbed our toe. And we know how to conduct a successful sale and net the seller the best return that they can possibly imagine. So for all the advice out there, if you're a seller, if you got a family member that's thinking about selling, please pick up the phone and call us today, even if you're thinking about doing it next year, because we can start that process well in advance to have a successful online auction event.
What other retirement auctions are on BigIron.com next week?
Oh, we've got a lot of nice retirement sales, folks, and it's real good quality equipment, and it's scattered all across the country. We've got the James and Emmett Deem retirement sale. This equipment located in Vincennes, Indiana, featuring a John Deere 9400 combine. They've got a Ford 8700 series tractor. They also have a TW25 mechanical front tractor with 5,400 hours on the tack. They've got a Hagee 8250 a cell-propelled sprayer. Just another nice lineup of equipment selling on their retirement sale. Then we have MLF Farms LLC retiring. They're from Mitchellville, Iowa. They've got a John Deere 9770 combine. They've got a John Deere 8420 mechanical front tractor and a 4650. They've got a 4430 as well that will be selling. They got several tillage tools. They got a Great Plains 8326 mulch finisher that will be sold on the Big Iron online auction here on August 26th. Roland Davenport is retiring as well from Schuyler, Nebraska. He's got an International 1486 tractor. He's got an International 1460 combine. He's got an Oliver 5-bottom plow. He's got a Case 820 grain platform and a 854 corn head that'll fit on that 1460 combine. So check out those items. We also have the Spencer Lynn Larson Estate, and they are from Riverton, Wyoming, folks. They've got a John Deere 9660 combine that will be selling on that particular sale, and we have unlimited leasing, and their retirement sale, folks, will take place on BigIron.com as well. We've also got the Thomas and E. Paula Peterson Revocable Trust. They're out of Waverly, Nebraska. They got some white tractors, the white 225 four-wheel drive tractor. They got a 2180. They got a 285 and a 2135. Those tractors are getting harder and harder to find, but always a great selection of equipment selling on Big Iron. And as always, we always publish the names of the owners and their phone number, so you can give them a call if you have any questions about the items. And we also have the Big Iron rep's name and number there too, so you got 2 points of contact.
Mark, other than retirement sales, what other equipment catches your eye on the August 26th sale?
So yeah, we've got some great equipment. David Muggy is from Mendon, Illinois, and he's got a Case IH 7120 combine. He's got a International 2574 floater that is selling. He's got some really good, well cared for equipment, so you want to check that out. We have got the Dewey County District Number 2 in Saline, Oklahoma, selling some motor graders. We also do a lot of work for some banks. We got Great Plains National Bank out of Carter, Oklahoma. We have DLL Finance. They're selling a tractor out of Dodgeville, Wisconsin. We've got a big sale for Harley and Cindy Gertis. They're from Linden, Kansas. They have a series of retirement sales. Harley's been in the machinery business for a long, long time. I've known him forever. And he's got a lot of Massey Ferguson tractors and New Holland tractors that are selling this go around here as he cleans up his big selection of equipment that he's had forever and ever and ever. He's got some trucks, Mack trucks, some Chevrolet pickups, some International Workstar trucks as well. He's got a Case 380 a tractor with a Westendorf quick attach loader that's also selling. So check out Harley and Cindy Gertis' equipment there in Linden, Kansas. People pronounce it differently. We also have Gary Goberson's combine selling in Wisner, Nebraska Harvest Center. They've got locations in Kearney and Ogallala. They will be selling some equipment as well. If you're in the market, folks, For some ranching equipment in Riverton, Wyoming, O-Bar Y Ranch has got some equipment selling, and TCF Equipment Finance in Huron, South Dakota. These folks always have a few items that they get back on lease returns, and they entrust Big Iron. They've used this for quite a while now. They're satisfied, very thrilled with the results, and they've got additional items that are selling this week here on Big Iron.
Sam, let's give Mark a chance to catch his breath. There's a lot of other great sales next week in Iowa. What can you tell us here?
Yeah, there are quite a few coming up. Phil Ladenton, he's in Marcus, Iowa. He's got a few nice items with a Parker 1048 grain cart. He also has a Wilson 724 livestock trailer and a Barrett triaxle GN livestock trailer. In addition to that, he has a 9400i International Semi. That's a few other items on that auction. Kevin Dykstra out of Decorah, Iowa. That's in northeast Iowa. He has several nice tractors, including a John Deere 7800 mechanical front-wheel drive tractor, a John Deere 6120 two-wheel drive, and more green stuff. Looks like a John Deere 8120 mechanical front-wheel drive, a 4640 two-wheel drive, and a 4240 mechanical front-wheel drive tractor. So again, a lot of nice tractors there with Kevin Dykstra. Heidemann Farms, they have a combine. They have a 2011 New Holland CR 9040 along with a bean platform and a corn head, and they are in Springville, Iowa. Hanning Farms, they have a tractors and an excavator. It looks like they have a Samsung SE210LC excavator. Looks like a really nice unit, along with a New Holland 4630 with a loader, an International 9170 four-wheel drive tractor, and a John Deere 7800. And a 4430 in Hamburg, Iowa. And locally here, I have Ron Ike. He has a John Deere 8400T. So that's a track tractor. It's a 1999, and it's a very nice tractor. He also has a 2015 John Deere 635 FD. That's a 35-foot flex draper header. It's a very nice unit. He also has a couple grain wagons and a set of tracks that go along with that. So a lot of nice Iowa sales coming up on August 26th.
Mark, I know there's a special Red River Valley Focus auction on the 26th. Can you tell us more here?
You know, our folks up in Minnesota and the Dakotas have really worked hard and put together a fabulous array of machinery being sold in North Dakota and Minnesota. Bill Hess from McIntosh, Minnesota's got 11 items. His auction is going to feature a John Deere 9520 four-wheel drive tractor. He's also got some construction-related items. A John Deere 200 LC excavator will be selling. He's got a John Deere 850C dozer. That's a 2001 model. His combine includes a John Deere S680 four-wheel drive. It's a 2013 model. He's also got a John Deere 640 Flex draper head that will be selling. And he's got a couple corn heads, some 22-inch corn heads. If you're in the market, folks, well cared for, really super sharp and cleaned equipment. He's got a Mack CXU 613 semi-truck tractor, folks. It's a day cab, so check out those items selling for Bill Hess. And since we mentioned an excavator for Bill Hess, we've also got Unlimited Excavating out of Washburn, North Dakota. Now, they've got a 2015 John Deere 300G LC excavator. This is a big machine, folks. It's got 2,666 hours. You need to take a look at it if you are in the market of tearing out trees or doing some heavy work with excavators, because this is a premium piece. We also have Spring Prairie HB Inc. out of Holly, Minnesota. They're selling some good quality items as well. They've got a Case IH 330 Turbo Till vertical tillage tool. They've got a Case IH big PTX 600 chisel plow that's selling. They've got all kinds of good quality related items, even a Honeybee rigid draper head. So check that machine out. We also have Ethan Sipp. He's got a telehandler and a tractor that will be sold here on the Big Iron website. He's got a 2016 Mahindra 105P mechanical front tractor. He's also got a Wilrich 614 NT disc, and he's got a Caterpillar, the handy kind here, the TL943D telehandler that will be selling. These items are located once again in Twin Valley, Minnesota. That telehandler, folks, only has 1,090 hours on a 2016 model machine. Take a look, all these items selling as part of that Red River Valley special focused equipment auction here on the 26th.
Mark, can you tell our listeners about some of the spectacular dealer equipment they'll find on the August 26th auction?
Yes, we do. Mahindra has been using BigIron.com throughout the summer months to sell some of their excess tractors and their UTVs and their accessory equipment, and they have called us up and they said, we have more coming your way. So if anybody's looking for a tractor with a mower deck or with a loader or with both, these are compact utility tractors, folks, that are pretty much unused. They'll have less than 5 engine hours on them. They are located in various parts of the country, but don't let the freight slow you up, because Hitchpin Logistics can get you a quote to have those items freighted right to your door. Plus, they have a lot of accessories, 3-point attachments, and they have a lot of different sizes of tires and configurations that work right on Mahindra equipment and tractors. They've got UTVs. I think there's going to be close to 100 UTVs coming up on Big Iron over the next couple weeks here, just in time for fall harvest and for all the fall hunters out there. So if you've got that special hunting spot that you've always wanted to get to and you're tired of lugging that deer or that big pheasant out of the woods, you can get your UTV somewhat close and pull it with a chain or throw it in the back. And those machines also are not even used. I mean, they'll have less than 15 hours on them. They've been demonstrator machines, if that. So check out the good quality equipment that Mahindra will be selling here over the next few weeks on BigIron.com. Now, Mitchell Equipment Company, formerly known as Beller & Backus out of Humphrey, Nebraska, they've got some combines that are selling here on the 26th. They got a Case IH 8010, got a 2388, they got a 2208 8-row 30 corn head, and they've got a 1020 30-foot flex platform head. They always have good equipment. Rich Bender there represents the equipment well for Mitchell Equipment. If you call up Rich, he will tell you exactly like it is. He's a real good, honest guy. We also have Prairie Land Partners that are selling some equipment. They got various locations throughout Kansas, and they've got a John Deere 7980 self-propelled forage harvester. They got a John Deere 9600 combine. They got an AgChem Rogator 854 sprayer that is going to sell. They got a big Demco 1050 grain cart. They got some Best Way equipment, another pull-type sprayer. They got a MacDon 45-foot flex draper. That's a 2015 model. It's the FD75D series, so check that out. They've got several other headers that are going to be selling as well right before our harvest gets kicked up here for corn and beans. So go to the Big Iron website and support all these dealers that are selling that equipment to the highest bidder with no reserves.
Now, before we leave, do either of you two want to add anything else?
Well, I'd like Sam to tell us about your open house. I think you mentioned a little bit. That's coming up on Saturday, and you got a bunch of buckets. How do these people get those yellow buckets?
Well, you come to the open house, and I'll probably give you a bucket. But we're going to be there at Cedric's farm from 11 to 2. I got Bill Trzynski, my district manager, will be there with me. And one of my assistants, she's bringing a few people up from southeast Iowa. We're going to represent Cedric very well. We're going to grill a few burgers, have some waters to hand out, some brochures, and an opportunity to take a look at all the equipment all lined up there. In fact, tomorrow I'll be working with Cedric to get the yard mowed, all the equipment moved around, and all the monitors and everything, the manuals and all that go with each of the pieces of equipment all organized in the shop so that when the buyers come, they can take a look at everything in an organized fashion.
And that sounds fantastic. And Sam, you have Clay County. Do you have some other counties that you also service?
I've been taking care of Dickinson County, Palo Alto, a little bit of Osceola. We've got some big sales coming up there on the antique sale on October 7th in Osceola County, O'Brien County. Those are basically the surrounding counties right now. And to be honest, people are finding out about Big Iron, and the interest has gone up. The registrations have gone up. The phone is starting to ring because they understand the power that we have with our reach and our exposure and how important that is. And when they call me, I can tell them the whole story and see how things go from there.
Hey, tease us a little bit with your big collector sale coming up in October.
All right. So Larry Leckman has been collecting tractors for a long time. He has over 100 items on that sale. If you are a Minneapolis Moline collector, you're going to want to pay attention. If you're an international McCormick or Harvester or international collector, you're going to want to pay attention. He has a few rare John Deere items as well, but I think he has about 4 or 5 John Deere items. He also has some horse-drawn equipment. We had taken some pictures on Friday of a late 20s, early 30s vintage corn binder with steel wheels. Very cool. The wood is excellent. We also have a 1920 drill. The wood is fantastic on it with steel wheels. Just unbelievable how that stuff will look if you keep it in the shed. I think we have about 20 more tractors to take videos and pictures of that are either partially restored or fully restored and run. I've already taken 20 pictures and videos of tractors that are restored or partially restored and run. So in addition to those fantastic pieces, there is also a Corvair, an international pickup truck that are restored and look fantastic. And we have a lot of parts tractors. So if you're looking for a project or have a project, you'll be able to find something in this collection. I don't know what they're going to bring, but it's all there, and he's all listed as stuck or loose. He has a story on when and where he bought everything. So if you want to find out about a piece of equipment, Larry will be happy to talk on the phone to you about it.
And how long have you been working with Larry to get ready for his sale?
Well, we met Larry at the Spencer Ag Outlook show in February, which you came and were a panel speaker for us. And that time, he was 86 at that time. He's 87 now. And he decided he needed to figure out an option to get on with his collection and change hands with it. So that's what we're doing. And we've been working on it all summer.
Yeah, 9 months. 9 months from the time that he said, I think about doing something before his sale date's going to happen, and a lot of moving parts in those 9 months. So the message we want to get across, Sam, is it takes time, doesn't it, to do these things and put them all together and do them right.
If you want to do it right and do the job that our sellers need, then we need time, and the payoff is huge.
It most definitely is. Well, I know, Sam, you're doing a great job. You're kind of getting that local celebrity established in the counties in which you work, so just keep up the Big Iron name in Clay and surrounding counties.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
That's our show for today, folks. I'd like to thank our guests, Mark Stock and Sam Harper, and remind everyone that the equipment mentioned today can all be found on the August 26th auction on BigIron.com. For the Big Iron Buzz, I'm Ryan Smith. We'll catch you here next week.